Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics. First, the highlights. President Tinubu signs 28.7 trillion naira 2024 budget into law, promises proper implementation and prosperity for all Nigerians. Former Social Democratic Party candidate Magnus Abe set to return to the All Progressives Congress. Plus, a Labour Party governorship candidate in the 2024 Edo election, Olumide Akpata, tasks state indigents on peace at the poll. Welcome to the program. I'm Millicent Nwaka in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu has signed the 28.7 trillion naira 2024 budget into law, assuring Nigerians that the budget would be efficiently implemented and vigorously monitored. The signing took place at a brief ceremony in the presidential villa with senior government officials led by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, present. Speaking after the ceremony, the lawmakers told journalists that they will ensure the budget is properly implemented for the benefit of all Nigerians. Our State House correspondent, Larry Lasisi, reports.
Bill in the State House, Abuja. On hand to witness the ceremony are lawmakers led by the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, some ministers, and other top government officials. After a short ceremony, the President proceeds to sign the bill. The President salutes the work done on the budget by the National Assembly with a priority on reducing the deficit and increasing capital expenditure.
It contains a good increase in the capital side, a reduction in recurrent expenditure, and it brought down the deficit from 6.11% to 3.88%. That, to me, that's an achievement.
He also stressed that the budget will be implemented.
We will implement this. I want to assure the Nigerians that all the MDAs and our teams have been warned. MDAs must have regular report of the budgetary performance in the area that we put in place to help ordinary Nigerians. The goal is to promote efficiency, dedication, and accountability. If you cannot do that, you may have to leave us to do the job on your behalf.
For the lawmakers, adequate oversight is necessary for the efficient implementation of the budget. They also applaud the President's action to address the controversies around ways and means.
We will make sure that if there is need, that we also undertake joint monitoring of the implementation of the budget to ensure that, yes, nobody can tell us one thing in the chambers or in the green chambers and another thing in the red chambers. We will make sure that we monitor very well. And he has also assured us that he has passed the matching orders to them. Ours is to make sure that we do our job. Oversight.
Landmark achievement we had was also approving the securitization of the ways and means, which has effectively brought to an end these controversial means and ways of borrowing money. And he has assured Nigerians that this will be the last of this kind of ugly incidents.
The uniqueness of the budget is highlighted by the ministers who are confident of adequate funding.
We are spending close to 11.4 trillion as capital expenditure, which is about 39% of the budget itself. I think this is almost the first in a very long time in our history. Equally, Mr. President said it today. One of the things that gave him pleasure was that this budget even provided 100 billion to provide school feeding for children.
We're relying less on borrowing and more on revenue, and I think you have to take the two together. We are very optimistic that not only will this budget be funded adequately, but it will be funded on a timely basis as well.
From all indications, these government officials appear very optimistic about the full implementation of this budget and its impact on Nigerians. From the presidential villa, Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Economic landscape of 2023. The nation grappled with challenges, notably a struggling economy marked by soaring exchange rates and the scarcity of the naira resulting from its redesign. A pivotal focus during the year was the examination of how various policies influence the daily lives of ordinary Nigerians. Now, following the passage of the new budget, the government says it is committed to balancing economic growth with social welfare. Well, joining us to talk more about this is Mr. Marcel Okeke, a former chief economist with Zenith Bank. Welcome to the program and Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you very much for having me on this very first working day of the year, 2024.
Indeed. Activity surrounding the economy continues to be under intense scrutiny. We had our fair share of discussion in 2023, and here we are again in 2024. From what you know so far, can the budget 2024 address the critical issues of job creation, poverty alleviation, and the overall enhancement of living standards of Nigerians?
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I'm just asking, my first question was, concerning this 2024 budget. This is hoping that you can hear me. Do you think that it addresses the critical issues of job creation, poverty alleviation?
Well, thank you for the question, but given the state of those indicators you mentioned, we are not very optimistic that very soon these things, will be turned around, because of the 2024 budget. If you look at the budget, the way it is packaged and presented now, is just like a mere ritual, because everything about it is being rushed, just to make sure that the budget is seen to have commenced on January 1, 2024. For instance, the budget was presented by the President to a joint session of the National Assembly on the 29th of November, if I'm right. And so the National Assembly, both House of Reps and Senate, just used 1 month to rush through it and came up with what the president has now rushed to sign, and so on and so forth. Because the Fiscal Responsibility Act provides 3 months that that budget should have been presented to the National Assembly. So everything about it is being rushed, and so we are not so excited, about the content. But let us take note of the fact that the budget will be commencing effectively January 1. The challenges in the implementation, over the years, I'm also with this government that, is facing the challenge of revenue mobilization for so many reasons, Because it's one thing to have those expectations and projections on paper. Another thing is for them to work out. As we speak, the mainstay of the economy is still oil. And as you and I know, oil revenue is under threat, for so many reasons. And when you come to even the fiscal side, where you talk about taxation and all that, if you talk about CIT, corporate income tax, for example, you look at the operators in the economy, the corporate organizations, you think they will do very well, they're doing very well, or they did very well in 2023, or they're going to do well in 2024, given the economic environment, and these are ones you're going to tax. So when you look at all these things, we just have to watch the government and see how things work out, or how things turn out, And the issue of corruption has not been effectively tackled, If you look back even only the 7 months life of this current administration, there's nothing to celebrate yet about tackling of corruption. So that goes to tell on how well or otherwise the budget is going to be implemented. Okay, so we just have to hope that they are going to do well, and I don't know. We can say even pray for them to do well. Otherwise, there's nothing so spectacular. There's nothing to celebrate about the budget, except that they rush to make sure that is set to be taken off on the 1st of January 2024. That's the only thing. Everything was rushed, and that's why even the National Assembly members, National Senate and House of Reps had to work even on Fridays and Saturdays, leading up to January 1st, and then the president had to sign whatever they came up with.
You've talked about the fact that you mentioned, yes, Mr. Okeke, you mentioned that it was rushed. You talked about the issue of corruption that you fear might affect it, and you talked about prayers. Another economic analyst mentioned miracle, but is this really what we need? What would be your metrics to reasonable performance of the 2024 budget?
Well, this government has not had its own budget and implemented any. So this will be the very first one. Okay? So all we can stand on is on hope. They are going to do well, but given the antecedents, it is the same APC that is in government. Okay? So in the past 8 years or so, we've not been having wonderful records of performance with budget. The economy is saddened with, a humongous debt profile, running to about this time 8 trillion naira as we speak. And like I said, the government is still battling with acute shortage of dollars and foreign exchange inflow because of low oil production and low oil export. Okay, coupled with the insecurity in the land, okay, and you don't have hunger all over the place, and you have agri sector threatened by insecurity in the land, farmers cannot go to farm, and so on and so forth. So when you have those presentations and how they're going to attend to all this and all that, there's always a question mark about, hanging on all of them. How are they going to do this? How are they going to do this? Look at something like oil theft. We thought that by now, even 7 months life of the government, that very bizarre phenomenon of oil theft would have been handled. So that when you are talking about revenue inflow from oil, we will comfortably say what we're expecting, and then the government will have the confidence of the people that that kind of expectation, could be met or even surpassed. But the way things are, it's all on hope. And that is what the president keeps telling us, that we keep tightening the belt and hoping that things will work out well. As we are talking now, 7 months into the life of the government, we are still dependent on importation of refined oil. When the fuel subsidy was said to have been removed on May 29th, when the president was inaugurated. Okay, so we're still dependent on importation of refined petroleum product 7 months into the life of it, and we are being promised that by December ending, so January, so February, so who knows when all these things will commence. All we are saying is that, as Nigerians, we are here and hoping that the government, of the day will be serious with the content of the budget, and if strictly implemented, if properly implemented, if seriously and effectively implemented, we believe it will lift the economy. It will lift the economy. I want to stop at that.
Do you see the parameters for the ministries, in terms of their monthly budget performance reports, which is expected to be submitted to the Ministry of Finance? Do you see this as important? Do you think it would achieve that desired aim in strengthening the implementation of the budget?
Please, what report did you mention?
Talking about the performance index, the monthly budget performance reports, sort of a way to monitor the ministries and their budget. I understand they'll be submitting a monthly performance budget to the Ministry of Budget.
Okay, if they come up with that kind of new innovation and the submissions or reports actually reflect the reality on ground, if such reports are not doctored, it is going to help because it will be an innovation and it's going to put a lot of, the implementers of the budget on their toes. And that is why I'm saying we are giving them some room to prove themselves. So if that proposal is implemented, that there will be monitoring of the implementation of the budget and will be reported, such a report of such monitoring sent to the Federal Ministry of Finance, and made public, that will go a long way in helping the implementation of the budget. I pray that that is implemented. That will help. Thank you.
Other priorities we understand are in the budget are defense and internal security, macroeconomic stability, improved investment environment, investment in the human capital development, social security. But were you surprised when you heard that the budget increased, had an additional increase of 1.2 trillion naira?
You see, some of these things border on what is called money illusion. Money illusion. Because the truth is that the challenge of the government is revenue. Okay? So, but you also know that because of the collapse of the naira, I call it collapse, because naira devaluation has gotten to such a level that the currency appears not to have one of the functions of money anymore, which is store of value. It no longer stores value. So what I'm saying in effect is that, for example, if you have $1 now within this economy, $1 within this economy, it means you have about 1,000 naira. Okay? So when government exports whatever, especially oil, and any money that comes in is converted to naira, okay? That means a lot of naira will be flowing, okay? So that gives somebody a sense of some kind of comfort that there's money, or an non-oil item that is exported and the money is repatriated. So government will be saying a lot of money is flowing in, okay? But the truth is that it is called money illusion because what is it? What does it amount to? Okay? So, but with that money illusion, they will now say they will go to do this. At the end of the day, you find out that Nigeria is part of the global community. And so we need much more of the hard currencies, that will help us to relate with the rest of the world and not, swimming in an area here and giving people the illusion that there's money. Just like the Federal Minister of Finance, was saying the other day that they are seeing more money coming in and all that. It doesn't mean anything. It is a dollar, a few dollars that comes in that is converted to naira and give the impression that so much money is flowing in. Check the money that they are now sharing every month. You now mentioned trillion. When it goes to the states and the local government areas, okay, what is it worth? What can you buy with it? Look at the level of inflation. Go to the market to buy anything. You find out that it's worth nothing. Okay? And so inflation has eaten up everything. And you find out that the inflation that has eaten up all this has both local and external, causes. And so it's not even something that the government can deal with in a matter of days or in a matter of months. Okay? So that is the composition of the currency. There's no stability. The fundamentals are also fundamentally wrong. And so a lot of things need to be addressed for you to have general stability of the economy. Okay?
All right. Well, I guess we'll be looking forward to how all of this tie into providing respite for Nigerians, especially the economy. We'd like to thank you, Mr. Masud Okeke, former chief economist with Zenith Bank. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
We'll move on to other stories. A former senator representing Rivers Southeast and the governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party in the 2023 election, Mr. Magnus Abe, has announced he is returning to the All Progressives Congress. Mr. Abe made this known during an interview on Channels Television's political program, Politics Today. And it's not yet clear what effect Mr. Abe's return will have on the already tense political atmosphere in Rivers State and indeed within the APC, with two individuals, Emeka Beke and Tony Okocha, currently laying claim to the leadership of the party in the state. The Nigerian passport must regain its integrity in the international community. The Minister of Interior, Mr. Edo, stated this when he met with the leadership of the Nigeria Immigration Service. Mr. Tunjojo explains that security features on the passport are expected to guard against the issuance of passports to non-Nigerians.
It's a few hours into the new year and the Minister of Interior is not prepared to observe the holidays in his plan to ensure the integrity of the nation's immigration document is protected. He convenes this special meeting with senior management of the ministry and the Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service to address some of the issues affecting the Nigerian passport.
In all our offices now, we've been able to build 2 layers of internet network. So the first one, second one. So there's backup, there's redundant line. So we'll guarantee Nigerians a minimum of 99% uptime going forward. All passport offices across the country, we are changing all of them to modern Core i5, about 1 terabyte, right? Yes. So we are changing all hardware infrastructure, all. And we're also working on getting solar power in all our 48 centers in Nigeria.
He wheels out plans to ensure the document is not issued to non-Nigerians.
Never again will a non-Nigerian carry a Nigerian passport. That's the main point. You cannot come from anywhere else and think Nigerian passport can be purchased, can be bought, and at the end of the day, cast aspersion on who we are.
The Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service is optimistic that the solutions will speed up the application and issuance process.
Deploying alternate source of energy like the solar and enhancing the capacity of the hardwares that we are now using in all our passport application centers will definitely remove the technical hitches and power failures that usually result in the delay of our passport application process.
After the speeches, a demonstration of the contactless passport application process is then presented. Afterwards, the minister took a tour of the command and control center of the E-Gate across the airport. Nigerians can begin to hope that the latest innovations will make the process of accessing the nation's international passport efficient and more effective.
2024 will be a pivotal year that will shape Edo State. A very important reason: residents need to make the right choices. Well, that's the view of the governorship aspirant at the Labour Party, Ms. Olumide Akpata. Ms. Akpata, who spoke with Channels Television after attending New Year celebrations at the St. Paul's Cathedral in Benin City, also highlighted the need for citizens to keep the peace and eschew violence in any form.
How we want to fashion this out. We have the opportunity again to, in this year, go back to the polls and select our leadership for another 4 years. At some point this year, I think that opportunity is almost divine, and we must not miss the opportunity to actually take decisions that would affect us as a state going forward. That is Edo State. My message to Edo people is to seize this opportunity and ensure that you enthrone leadership that would actually move the needle, leadership that would actually transform in the state, leadership that would actually change the fortunes of the average Edo man and woman. I think governance is effective when the man on the street can actually say they feel the presence of government.
We head to Abia State, where the governor, Alex Oti, has restated the commitment of his administration to rebuilding and restoring the state to a position of glory, assuring that all pension arrears of its retired workers will be paid before the end of the first quarter of 2024. Speaking during his New Year broadcast to the people of the state in Isianangwa local government area, Governor Oti says his government has concluded plans for an upward review of the salaries of all state government employees to reflect the current economic realities of the country. The governor also met with the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress in the state in a bid to resolve all the issues bordering on outstanding pension arrears of its retired workers.
You may wish to recall that while speaking to you shortly after we took the oath of office on May 29, 2023, we made a solemn commitment that we shall make regular payment of salaries and pensions a priority. It gladdens my heart to report that our workers and retirees now know exactly when their entitlements will be paid, and thankfully, we have never failed them. In the new year, as we had promised, we shall review the salaries of all the employees of the state government upwards to reflect the economic realities of the time. Work on this is in the final stages.
Before now, the pensioners have been owed. In fact, my chairman told you, generally we're owed a minimum of 45 months, okay, starting from 2014 till date. I'm telling them that we should keep hope alive. In fact, we've met the Messiah. He came on a rescue mission of Senate. So from the date he came in as the governor, he started paying us. Unlike when we were receiving pension 3 times in a year or something like that. So this time he's paying us monthly.
Well, the Federal Ministry of Education has suspended the evaluation and accreditation of degree certificates from Benin and Togo republics pending the outcome of an investigation into the certificates from both countries. In a statement by the ministry spokesperson, Mrs. Augustina Obilo-Duro, the suspension follows the outcome of an investigation by an underground reporter who claimed to have bagged a degree from a university in Cotonou in 6 weeks and participated in the NYSC scheme. According to the statement, the investigation would involve the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria and the 2 countries, the ministries responsible for education in the 2 countries, as well as the Department of State Services and the National Youth Service Corps. It goes on to say that the outcome of the investigation lends credence to suspicions that some Nigerians deploy nefarious means and unconscionable methods to get a degree or degrees with the end objective of getting graduate job opportunities for which they're not qualified. The ministry says it has commenced internal administrative processes to determine the culpability or otherwise of their staff, for which applicable public service rules will be applied, and is therefore calling on the general public to support its efforts to show understanding and provide useful information that will assist the committee in finding lasting solutions to prevent further occurrences. And you've been served lunch at this time. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Walker. Bye for now.